I'll say this, right? I'm a nobody. But it's like I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole uh riots in LA and all these deportation things. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals. It is honestly tiring because here's the thing: we want the country to be better. We want the country to be better. We want the country to if you did it legally, if you stand in line, if you paid the price, right? You paid the money and all that. You did all the process, the paperwork, all the stuff, which usually most Asian people do. Why would we care about someone jumping in line, crossing the border, and all this stuff? Why should we, you know, be happy about that? We're not really. This is the thing where we're not really dependent. Asian people aren't really dependent on uh you know migrant labor, right? Not like other people. We're not really dependent on migrant labor. So we're not gonna cry that the U.S. is pretty much backing what they promised. The U.S. promised, or this presidency promised, that they would deport illegal immigrants. They're doing that. Why are you crying? Why are you crying about it? This is the thing where, you see it like these immigrants are waving the flags of other countries, burning down the flag of the U.S., and then you think Asian people want to support that? No, they want to stay away from that. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. That's the thing. Asian people want to, focus on themselves and their community and their country. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. So really, stop asking Asian influencers to speak up about it, because you won't like what they say. You won't like what they say. So really, it's better off that they do the content that they're doing instead of, say things you don't like. Because here's the thing. Asian people don't want to focus on the negativity and, say what they're really thinking. Deport, right? Deport illegal immigrants. They are fine with it.
I've been hearing about other minorities asking Black people to show up and protest against ICE. Ask the Asians instead. Our shit's already being rocked. The working class ones are going to be targeted by ICE just like the Latino community. Hell, a bunch of us are already being deported and often to the wrong country. And then as for the richer ones, Trump has already banned all Chinese students from coming to the US to study, and has banned all international students from coming to Harvard, which affects a whole lot of Asian international students. So anybody who looks Chinese, even if they're a US citizen, is going to be affected by this. He's put several South Asian countries on the travel ban list. So yeah, brown Asians are going to be affected too. Anyway, our voting numbers look very similar to Latinos. Just over half of us voted for Kamala and the rest went for Trump. We couldn't just fucking listen to Black people when they told us to vote for the Black lady who wasn't going to take all our civil rights away. And now we want them to come save our asses when they're getting whooped? Also, have you maybe considered that the feds want Black people to show up to the protests? Because then they have an excuse to escalate the violence. Then they have an excuse to call them riots. We saw what happened with the peaceful protests in 2020 after George Floyd was killed by a policeman. Also, if you've been paying any attention at all, Black people have been showing up to support Latinos who are potentially being deported. Look at all the videos from Compton. Just type Compton in your search bar. So why don't we do this? Why don't we let Black people make their own decisions? Stop expecting them to be your personal avengers. Mobilize the Asians. I know that if I'm in front of a cop at a protest, he's going to think twice about doing anything to me. He's not going to give me the same grace as a white person, but he's definitely going to give me more than he gives a Black person. And if you can't go to a protest, just fucking say something, especially if you live in California. Asians, I know there's a lot of you over there. I was born in the Bay Area, so I feel like I should say something. Anyway, yeah, mobilize the Asians. Stay safe out there.
There's this guy trying to give reasons as to why Asians shouldn't advocate for what's happening in LA. And I just want to say that he keeps saying we as if all Asians think the same. All right, we aren't a monolith. All right, even I won't say we as if I represent all Asians. And another thing is, you can support your country without being blindly loyal to it. All right, you can push for it to be better. Right. And then another thing he said is that Asians aren't dependent on undocumented labor. Well, I feel like that is just incorrect. If you go to a Chinatown, or if you go to Chinatown, K-Town, If you look at the staff, all right, most of the staff is undocumented, all right? Sometimes even the Asians themselves aren't even documented, all right?
Okay, I'm going to take one for the team and just say this. If you're an Asian American who's here legally, whose parents worked their butts off to get out of a country and give yourself the American dream legally, got you a green card, got you a citizenship, got you into that school, and you are here engagement farming for pity points and emotional impact and virtue signaling for anti-ICE or anti-illegal immigrant deportation measures and calling yourself some justice warrior, shame on you. Think about the amount of sacrifice that your parents put in to bring you here, the same with my parents, the lives that they've given up to give you an opportunity to come here into this country legally. And you're here saying, oh, I'm going to do this because no one else seems to be saying this. Everyone's quiet and posting their food vlogs, but I'm going to man up and take it for the team to talk about how it is disgusting what they're doing. It's not disgusting. They are doing things legally. In your country, if anyone entered illegally, they would be doing far worse things. The very fact that you're undermining the amount of effort that your family has put to put you here legally in order to engagement farm and get pity points or whatever virtue signaling emotional points that you're trying to get is embarrassing. You're an embarrassment to your family. You're not thanking your parents enough. You're not grateful. I hope you keep those opinions to yourself because it's embarrassing. That's all it is.
So I'm making this TikTok, first of all, to express my disappointment in all of my fellow Asians who are not speaking up about what's going on here in LA. And secondly, to encourage everyone to keep speaking up about what's happening here, whether you have already or haven't yet. LA has always been a very diverse city, and us Asians here have only recently been accepted, even though the stereotype is that we're all over the place down here and in the OC and everything like that. But don't y'all remember the Japanese internment camps? The hate that people were being shown during COVID? And don't forget the massacres that happened in major LA cities in the 1800s because of immigration and racism. Like, did we just suddenly forget that? Obviously, it's because a lot of our fellow Asians are believing in the model minority myths, and that makes them think that somehow they aren't a part of various minorities, or that they are white actually, or that they won't be oppressed at all. It's very easy for Asians to think that they are the exception to racism and to oppression and all of that. But there's something that I'm noticing about Asians and Latino communities, and it's that we're a lot more similar than we are different, obviously. Both of our communities work their asses off to provide for their families, and family is actually such a central part to both cultures, as well as respecting ancestors and honoring our culture and traditions. Like, honestly, all of the minorities should be uniting. We should be supporting each other. Like, I don't know why there's so much infighting or condemning each other or saying that we're staying home because it doesn't directly affect us. It's always like, I'm staying home because it doesn't affect me, or they start going out because someone that they know was affected. It shouldn't take someone that you personally know to be affected to stand up for something that's wrong. If you think about it and ask yourself, would I want this, or is this right if this happens to someone that I know, and the answer is no, then you should be talking about it, you should be acting on it, and you should be speaking up. And that's what I want to see from the Asian community. I've only seen a couple of creators talk about it, and I'm proud of them, but I'd like to see a lot more. We have to stand in solidarity together. And also, there's just so many other communities who I don't see talking about this. Influencers, you cannot profit off of Los Angeles and not defend the community that gives it its identity. Also, like, the fandoms, like, I know fandom culture is strong. Like, you guys are so loud. I know that fandoms are some of the best at mobilizing. I want to see more of them speaking up about what's happening. especially because fandoms are such a great place to have diverse communities where people bond over the things that they love. Now it's time for us to uplift each other and keep supporting each other in their communities and through the struggles that they face. Sorry, needed a water break. So what I think that I'll end with is just saying, please talk about this more. You can volunteer to bring supplies to protests. If you can't protest yourself, you can keep raising awareness and donate to certain organizations that you can find yourself. I'm not sure what they are, but I'm sure other creators have made videos on them. But most of all, and most importantly, don't lose hope. Keep encouraging others. Keep yourself safe, which means your mental health, especially. It can feel easy to be discouraged or angry at what's going on, especially at yourself, along with everything around you. So just be easy on yourself, keep advocating, and take care of each other.